boogeyman.
Run, Randy, run!
Welcome to the Inferno. I'm Papa John, and I'm here to guide you through all the hellish sides of horror. And today I am starting my Saw review series leading up to the release of Spiral. Now, Spiral is actually my most anticipated horror movie of the year. That's really only because there's a couple sequels to franchises and movies that I just have some reservations about. And I love the Spiral trailers a lot. That being said, I've only seen a few Saw movies, in all honesty, and most of the ones I have seen I've only kind of casually watched. I've never actually just sat down and watched through the franchise outside of the first movie a couple times. I'm actually pretty excited because I love the creative team behind the franchise, and I love the concept of the franchise. And so getting started in Saw, you have two individuals. They find themselves trapped in this disgusting bathroom, disgusting back room, and they have to play games, find their way out. You get flashbacks, and it's kind of got this non-linear storyline, which is fairly interesting. Saw was directed by James Wan, who's one of my favorite, probably my second favorite horror director after Wes Craven. I am a big fan of James Wan, especially the first Conjuring. And it's also written by Leigh Whannel, who directed The Invisible Man, which I'm a massive fan of, the most recent Invisible Man movie. And so it's got this great creative team behind it, and I think the writing by Leigh Whannel is great in this movie. I think the script and the story idea, James Wan does have a story credit, but the writing credit is mostly Leigh Whannel. And it's written really, really good. I love the script. I love the story, the idea. And then I think James Wan, you can see the talent of James Wan and the directing talent that he has on the screen. You can see it there. But at the same time, it feels like he's still developing his talent. It doesn't feel like it's all the way there. You can see the talent, but you can also see that it doesn't feel fully developed, in my opinion. And part of that just goes to, I think some of the editing choices to me feel a little too jarring at times, and some of the transitions I'm not a big fan of. So there's some editing things in there. But in terms of like atmosphere, production design, his direction of the camera and all of that, I think it's pretty damn good. You can see the talent there that will become the guy that directed Insidious and The Conjuring. This movie has a great creative concept behind it in terms of doing this twisted game to teach life lessons. I love the concept of this movie, and I think they find some creative ways and creative kills as well. You know, the reverse bear trap, and I've always been a fan of like the barbed wire crawl. And even though this movie is pretty well written, it's pretty well directed, it has great atmosphere and production design, there is one major aspect that this movie kind of fails at for me, or fail isn't the right word probably to use, but one thing that really holds this movie back for me is the acting, mainly the two leads. Outside of the two leads, you have Danny Glover, which I'll always have a soft spot for. I'm a big fan of the Lethal Weapon franchise. And then you have Michael Emerson, who's really only a major part of the third act, and I think he does a decent job. He plays villains well. But those two leads, man. Leigh Whannel is a great writer. He's proven to be a great director, but he is not a good actor, in my opinion. He's not believable. He's just not very good. And there probably was budgetary reasons here. They might not have wanted to fully commit to getting a more professional actor. I don't know. Maybe Leigh Whannel just desperately wanted to play this part. But I just don't think he's that great of an actor. And then Cary Elwes, he's not very great either in this movie. He's given better performances in other movies, and it's just, he's not very believable in this movie to me. And so what circle of hell does the first Saw belong in? You have great writing. You have some great talent behind the screen, even if it doesn't feel fully developed yet. You have some great creative kills and a great concept, and you have some great atmosphere to the movie, but you also have some pretty mediocre acting, especially by the two leads, that can really hold this back for me. That being said, it's still a pretty good movie, a pretty great horror movie. It's not quite one of the best, and I don't even think it's up there in the first circle, but it does belong in the second circle of hell among the various degrees of greatness. So go ahead and share your thoughts on the first Saw movie and James Wan's directorial debut, one of my favorite horror directors, in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this review, go ahead and smash that thumbs up icon, smash that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell as well. And as always, have a hell of a good time.